Hello, America. Bailey here, actually from America. It is 5 o'clock in Madeira, Portugal. It's only 11 o'clock here in St. Louis, so we're having coffee and not a cocktail today. The fun part about being here in the US, we're here for the ASCFG 35th anniversary conference. Having a great time talking about flowers, talking about flower education. I wish you were here. If you're not and you're a member, I think you can access all the videos of these amazing presentations. Other cool part about being in America, I have Thomas here. Well, I have him in Madeira, but I also have Allie, and I have Felicia. Come on in. So we got the whole crew today. What we're doing today, we had a trade show a couple nights ago. We got a lot of flowers in so that people could see exactly the varieties that we are offering. So I'm just gonna go through the varieties, we can look at them. Most of them were imported from Holland. Now, I wish I could just call up someone in America and get 45 varieties, specific varieties delivered on a certain day. America isn't there yet, but we're going to get there. So no complaining about the foreign flowers. That's the only place I could get the actual varieties that we sell to you as plugs. We're gonna go through a lot of different varieties today. Some stuff we sell currently, a lot of stuff that we will be selling starting December 1st, a lot of our bare root perennials and woodies. All right, go team. Do it. So I'm really excited about these. Disclaimer, we aren't selling the Sarracenia yet. Maybe we never will, but I think they're really, really special. For one, look how big these are. They're enormous. Look at the beautiful, beautiful colors. So I've been working with a guy named Steve out in Washington. He has Foxleaf Farm. Follow his Instagram account. He's a Sarracenia nut. He's taught me a lot about Sarracenias, and I've been teaching him a lot about harvesting, post-harvest care, getting things to market. He's starting to sell these through the Seattle wholesale flower market, I believe. Sorry if I didn't get that name exactly right. We only have about 1 or 2% of the native range of these plants left in America. These are American natives that grow really along the Gulf Coast, the plains around the Gulf Coast, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida Panhandle, some a little bit into Texas. Well, with only 1% left, we should leave those alone, right? Unfortunately, there are still people wild harvesting those and selling them into the floral trade. So part of what Steve is wanting to do and has started to succeed is cultivate these things so that we can really just get rid of that the wild harvested trade. So stay tuned. My goal with these is not to sell them to you. I just want to educate you about growing these. We'll be making some instructional materials on how you grow Sarracenia. You can actually start them from seed, and Steve actually can sell you some seed. So yeah, we just love these. Thank you, Steve, for sending these. We wish you all the best in this venture. And I think a lot of American cut flower growers would be very interested in giving these Sarracenia a try. All right, so I'm gonna be handed flowers and I'm gonna talk about them. This is Lepidium, Lepidium Green Dragon. This comes from Danziger. We sell this in a 125. I think we might be out of seed at the moment, but it will come back. Become very popular in Europe. You know, peppercrest would be the common name for this, but this is real big. You know, really nice to round out a bouquet, but also pretty dramatic all on its own. So Lepidium Green Dragon. Also from Danziger, Gypsophila. So this is Excellence. This is probably the top baby's breath on the market today. This is the one that they're growing in huge numbers. In Colombia and Ecuador, you can grow it too. Big, round, full flowers. The habit is really nice, it's easy to harvest. So this is like the Cadillac of baby's breath at the moment. Excellence. Okay, we have several limonium. These, I don't have the exact varieties on, but let's talk a little bit about the different types. That peach status, let's talk about that one too. Limonium is the name, that's the genus of status, and these other different kinds of status. So maybe we have sinuatum, we have sinensis, and then there's another one called altica. So I believe this is sinuatum. This is the status that you're more familiar with. This is a tissue culture strain. You can tell because it's got these, you know, kind of soft, lovely colors. Big, thick stems. This is sometimes the purples are generally the real strong ones. This apricot is just so lovely for its color. They produce a lot of flowers. We're excited to have these. We don't have them for sale at the moment. They will be coming by Christmas. There's just a lot to figure out with these tissue culture plants, getting them from the correct lab at the correct time, but we are working on it because I think there's a real future for more limonium in the US. This type of status is probably the trickiest because it just doesn't like heat. It wants to go in the ground when it's still a little bit cold outside, and then it'll flower really hard until you get really hot in summer. If you're a northern grower and you don't have that, extreme summer heat, they may go all season for you. Just keep cutting them. So this is more the, maybe C status, or there's so many common names. I don't like common names because they lead to confusion. So I believe this is the sinensis type. I could be wrong. These are hardier. They're more heat tolerant, so they can take colder and hotter than the standard status. The individual flowers, they're breeding them bigger and bigger to give more of a visual effect. I really love these. This is called Oshi Pink. It's the top variety in the market. These are probably actually grown in Israel. I visited the farm that grew these, I believe, and they came through Holland. There's a lot to learn about the international floral trade, but we can have these here and be providing these to American consumers very soon, in the very near future. This type is, I believe, we call it Altica type. So you can see it's very feathery, like the Oshi Pink I just had, but the petals are a little bit larger, so you get these more kind of brush shaped. And it kind of takes on a couple different looks. These are very similar white varieties. We will have one called Pina Colada. I don't actually know which one this is. The wholesaler didn't have the exact variety names on everything. And here's another that's still a little more wispy, but you can see it has more visual impact than that traditional sea heather or sea status, they call it, I guess. So I'm really excited about this. This is something you should consider growing. Very productive. Again, some of these smaller flower types, very cold hardy, very heat tolerant. I saw it growing in the desert in Israel. It was baking, and it's doing great. Oh, one more. It's really nice blue color, bulky. I love them. Okay, so here's the Solidago. This has actually kind of gone past. It wasn't the freshest when I got it, but this is, I believe, Moonlight Glory, or one of the kind of creamy colored ones. On Monday, it looked really good. It's starting to brown a little bit, but I actually kind of like it in this state too. There's no reason you couldn't use this for the right, these earthy, like with the Roseanne Brown Lysianthus, it could be incorporated, even though to my eye it is turning a little bit brown. Okay, here's a fun one coming up for our bare root perennial program. Astilbe will have several different Astilbes. This one is called Vision Inferno. It is the current top seller on the Dutch cut flower market. So these are being produced in big numbers in Holland and exported around the world, and you can have these next year. Again, these will go on sale December 1st, and they will ship in April of 2024. They have a lovely soft peach color. So these green dianthus are something we've been trying to get for a long time. There's been just like political reasons why we haven't been allowed to sell these, but that's about to come to an end. We think we have a source for them from tissue culture, and it might be a year, but keep your eye out. We'll finally have some of these fuzzy green Dianthus barbatus types. This is more closely related to Sweet William than to, say, a carnation or than to Amazon, but the texture is just great. They last forever. I love them. Also in our bare root program, we're gonna have a bunch of woody plants. Ilex verticillata, the winterberry holly, are really just some of my favorites. We're selling one called Cresgold, which is essentially this color. I'm not entirely sure which one this is, but they're almost identical. And then this one is called Magical Daydream, from the breeder Kolster in the Netherlands. See, we've got kind of orange blush on these. These are more about gold. We'll also have one called Citronella, which is a bright yellow. It's really cool. These are great for Halloween time. For right up to Thanksgiving, you can sell a lot of these. We will have the classic red, really top-notch varieties with big berries and lots of them for Christmas time. So why not grow orange and yellow for your autumnal sales? They look great with mums. They look great with Caryopteris, the things that are blooming now, and then switch to your red ones for Christmas time. Speaking of berries, this is Symphoricarpos Magical Temptation. Really beautiful purpley pink. We will also have some white Symphoricarpos and some light pink Symphoricarpos. Yeah, let's just hold more. More is more. We'll have those 3 different colors, and we'll have them in an early maturing varieties, in mid-season, and late. So these will be late season. This is kind of the end of the season for Symphoricarpos. I visited the Netherlands in August and saw the exact plants that we will be shipping to you in April. And the early ones were in really full berry at that point. So by planting different varieties, you can just spread out your harvest window. So Symphoricarpos likes it a little bit wet. This is an American native, so you can feel good about it growing in your landscape. This is just one of 9 varieties that will go on sale December 1st for shipping in April. Oh, they're very heavy. All right. Estrantia Masterwort, I think is a weird common name. This is something y'all have been asking me for quite a while. We finally found a tissue culture source. I think we probably won't have them. We'll probably start shipping them around a year from now, but it's in the pipeline, so hooray. We'll have them in this kind of, well, this is just called Magical Diamonds. There's pink ones, there's white ones, there's burgundy. We'll try to get the whole series, but I really love this perennial. Really nice tall stems. The ones I've grown in the past have been kind of puny, so I'm really excited to get these big varieties into your hands. Kind of teasing you with these Clematis 2. We don't have them yet. I've purchased all of the cut Clematis that the Netherlands will produce next year. So these will go on sale around a year from now for shipping in 2025. But I want to talk about cut Clematis. These are bush types, meaning they don't climb, they don't cling onto each other and the trellis and their neighbors. So they go fairly upright. I think they're probably going to be like 4 or 5 feet tall, so they will need support, but you won't have to untangle them. This isn't the exact variety that we're going to have, but to my eye, it looks almost identical. They last like 10 days, very long lasting. Really thin stems, but they're really flexible, so they're yeah, just really useful in a bouquet. I love Clematis. We will have these for you in 2025, so thank you for your patience. It's something I've been working on getting you for a long time. Back on the woody train. So here's Cotinus Smokebush. We will have these for shipping this coming April. Again, the same time frame. They'll go on sale in December. Really nice foliage. If you were to leave this on the plant for 1 more year, obviously they get a lot taller, and they'll get that smoke on them. The flower that looks very delicate and kind of fuzzy. I love Cotinus. Great cut foliage. You can cut them back to the ground every year, and they will re-sprout. It's called coppicing. We'll talk about that later. I'm sure we'll do a whole Insta Live just about woody plants, as these things are getting ready to ship. But what's really nice new Cotinus coming your way. Most of these woody plants that I'm talking about are coming from a breeder called Colster. They breed specifically, mostly they breed woody plants specifically for cutting. We have landscape plants that we can cut on, but I'd prefer something that grows tall, fast, and straight. Landscape industry is asking for like slow mounding shapes. They're not as, most of what we've had access to are not as good as what we're about to have access to. They also breed in perennials. So this is Blue Lagoon Eryngium, another tissue culture crop, so it's going to take us a little more time to have it for you, but I believe in the next year you can look for some larger flowered, brighter blue, and like cleaner silver Eryngium. They're quite a lot larger than blue glitter. I'm sorry, I don't have blue glitter as a comparison, but Eryngium Blue Lagoon, Magical Blue Lagoon. Okay, from the folks at Danziger, we're selling these already. This is the Globo series. See how round and full those berries are. I believe this one is coral. A few of them are maybe a little overripe, but they're still pretty. I love them. They're you get just a nice little bunch of berries. Great for autumnal bouquets. Really fun to work. Any time of year. Really nice bouquet ingredient. So we've been talking about Crespedia for a while. We had some for sale this summer. It's maybe the wrong season for most people. Crespedia is really hard to propagate. We finally figured out that, so these are produced by Danziger. They have a cutting farm in Kenya that produces the cuttings. The Problem is, by the time the cuttings got to America, they often were a little bit dead. So now they're taking the cutting, they are sticking the cutting in Kenya and leaving it there for 2 weeks to get a little callus tissue forming on the bottom of the plant. Then those are shipped to Grow and Sell, where they are rooting with good success. So I'm talking to the guys from Grow and Sell in about 2 hours. We're gonna figure out a date for springtime to get these into your hands. They're all in the paintball series. That's the series, the name that Danziger has given them. This one is called Globe. It's the medium-sized one. Okay, Jumbo is even bigger, more golf ball size. You don't get as many flowers per plant, but they are this big. Talked to a grower here who is selling them for $5 a stem at her farmer's market, so that's good. I like that price. And then Poppy is more egg-shaped. It's would be really fun for Easter, but they're more oblong, a little smaller, but you get a lot more production. Kind of middle of the road is Globe, probably the industry standard in Cresspedia at the moment. Great dry flower. You know, I've been trying to get you all to like Gerberas. Will you just like them? This is called Chique, C-H-I-Q-U-E. We sell this one currently. We sold it last year as well. Just lovely. Look at those colors. I mean, a lot of people had no idea what these were. Like, are these mums? Or are these some kind of weird dahlia? Nope, Gerber daisies. They're a bit finicky. They take a little more skill to grow than some other crops. You can't just pop them in the ground like a zinnia. They're gonna need more specific conditions. If you feed them well, water them well. You know, if you live in a warm winter place, you can even have them blooming all year long. I love Gerberas and I love this one. Let's do mums. You know, we're working with Porch Farm now. They sent some of their heirloom mums. So not all my flowers are from overseas. These are American grown by Porch Farm. I'm not sure if we have every single one of these varieties, but these are varieties they're working with, you know, maybe getting their numbers up so we can have all of them. But let's just quickly go through them. Safina, look at that green and bronze, really striking. All really, I don't know. I would like to make some really garish floral arrangements with these, but they're so fun, right? All by themselves. This is, we've got 2 here. They have all the tags. So this one's called Mocha, kind of a spider type and a kind of a dusty lavender rust color, really lovely. Not sure who that one is at the moment. Let's just pull these out. Pull them out and all. Once again, I'm sorry, I don't have the name on this one. Oh, I do. There we go. Koka Hugu, so I'm assuming this is a Japanese variety. Lovely kind of incurved type. These little guys are my favorite, I think. Bronze fleece, look at that movement. They're just a bunch of tiny little flowers, but I really like them. There's a pink fleece here as well. We'll get to them in a minute. Kermit, aptly named, I think. Just that bright green, a little freshness, really fun. You know, this time of year everybody wants reds and rusts and oranges, but why not brighten it up with a little bit of green? Kelvin Mandarin, another little button type, a little bigger than that the fleece one I had, but I think that's the perfect color for autumn. Yeah, thank you, Steve and Mandy, for sending these out. They've been really popular. Vesuvio, you know, like a smaller white spider. The colors and forms are just almost endless. All right, here's the one I couldn't find the name for before. Lily Anderton, isn't that lovely? Kind of like an anemone shape, I believe they call that. Very delicate, no reason that couldn't go in a high-end wedding. Even if they think mums are bad, they're not gonna notice that this is good old chrysanthemum. Okay, here's the pink fleece that I was struggling with before. You can just look at those little dancing heads. I think this might be my favorite. Okay, another incurve type. Nijin Bigo, maybe another Japanese type. Kind of darker rust on the inside and gold on the reverse, so you can use those in a lot of different color combinations. And Kelvin Tattoo. There's several in the Kelvin series. Most of them are these little buttons. Just that dark rust to a lighter rust on the outside. Perfect. Again, thank you, Porch Farm. All right, we are familiar with Scoop Scabioses now. This is, I believe, Bonbon French Vanilla, just that kind of barely pink, almost sort of cafe au lait color. This is my favorite that we sell. I believe these are actually grown in Ecuador and then went to Holland and then came here. We should just be able to get these all the time in America. You can manipulate them to bloom at any time if you want to figure it out. Just lovely. Another Danziger product. These are one of the Scoop Scabioses are one of the, maybe the second product we went to great lengths to bring to the US, so they do have a special place in my heart. This is Guardian Delphinium. This is the lavender, really kind of light blue, but there are lavender touches. Guardian's really one of the best cutting strains out there. We have it in blue and dark blue and white as well. Yeah, I just love these. Okay, this is Campanula. This is a Champion 2 series. I've got white and lavender kind of mixed up together here. This is what your Campanula should be looking like. Again, Campanula you plant in the fall or late winter. You plant them before week 10, and then as the days get longer in the spring and summer, they're gonna flower. Probably June, maybe July if you're in the more northern part. You can cut them almost completely closed. These were fairly closed when they arrived. And you can see how nicely they're opening up now. Very long lasting, very dainty looking, but very tough actually. Okay, we have some Lisianthus. This is Voyage Blue. I'm gonna talk about how the Dutch grow them. The Dutch grow them really close together. They grow them really warm, and they grow them really fast. So from transplant, they're getting flower in about 6 weeks. The flower heads are a lot smaller than what most of us are growing in America. It's kind of a different product, but it's grown from the same exact variety. We have some more Voyage here. So here's Voyage Green. Again, honestly, I think what we produce in America is better than what's coming from Holland, but this is what was available to talk about today, Voyage White. Lovely, uniform. Okay. And then I've got Voyage Light Apricot. That's it. Voyage Light Apricot was an ASCFG cut flower of the year a couple years ago. You've probably tried it by now, and it's probably one of your favorites. Definitely one of mine. Now on to Sumika. Sumika's a Lisianthus breeder. I went to Japan in 2019 to pick these out and bring them to you. One of our favorites is this blue Chateau. Now Bailey, that doesn't look very blue. Well, it's kind of like a lavender cream. It's sort of one of those indescribable colors. If you have these sort of earthy, muddy color palettes, it's really fun to work with. Chateau Blue is maybe my favorite from Sumika, just because it's so weird. This is from the Celeb series, also from Sumika. Lisianthus Celeb Queen. Just kind of a perfect bridal pink. Lisianthus color changes a lot depending on your conditions. In Vermont, when I grew this, it was a paler shade. Probably because it was blooming in a cooler time of year. We had a little bit of shade over the greenhouse. So it's a great series, but the color will vary on all Lisianthus depending on your actual conditions. Some of these are kind of beaten up. They've had a hard week, but I think you're getting the idea. Okay. This is you might guess one of the Roseanne series because of the brown color. This is Roseanne Terracotta. Yeah, I love them. Again, when I grew them in Vermont, they were bigger flowers than they're growing them in Holland, but they grow them really fast. I think they get like 6 turns of their greenhouse per year just in Lisianthus. They're real experts in figuring out, how to produce things quickly. So here's a brand new one. Several of you all have asked for Bohemian Choco. Well, this is actually called Puccino Choco, but it's the same thing. Sometimes, maybe Puccino doesn't have as much marketing value as, what is it? Bohemian, excuse me. It's the same variety. We'll have them this year for the first time through Grow and Sell. You see it's a single flower, and someone was playing with them and kind of reflexed these petals. But look at the effect you can get from that. You wouldn't even know that this was a Lisianthus necessarily if you had it next to a large flower type. So you could grow 2 different types of Lisianthus, mix them together to make a bouquet that looks Well, just stunning, look at that. And these are maybe the star of the show. Obviously it's a hydrangea. This is another one from Colster, the woody plant breeder we are working with. We don't have these in the US yet. I will try to get them. We will have some paniculata types. Paniculata, Limelight would be the one you're most familiar with, or PG hydrangea. Macrophyllus are the blue types. So if you live in a place where you see blue hydrangeas blooming, well, Cape Cod comes to mind. Often coastal places where the climate's a little more moderate and you're not getting hard freezes. These might work for you. So we're gonna work on bringing these to you. Look at that color. I mean, I think earlier in the season it was probably a dark purple, but it was left on the plant to age, get kind of antique-y, but now they're really leathery. This would dry perfectly. So we've had a lot of interest in these. We're gonna work our little butts off trying to get them together. That's it. Were there any questions? Nope, okay. Well, I won't keep you here. We've got ASCFG people to hang out with. We wish you were here. We love this organization. 35 years is a real feat. It's really been fun to be connected with some of the people who have been around for 35 years. They took the information that they learned, many of them grew up in the floral industry. They learned information and they've shared this information, and I've taken it from them and I view it as my duty to share it with you. So anything you learn from me that you learn from the ASCFG, please keep talking and sharing. Flower farming is hard enough without hiding information behind paywalls. So let's just keep learning how to grow better flowers together. All right, y'all. Thanks.